I don't really get into this, but there was an article that was submitted by one of the listeners regarding his estate. So this is on Forbes.com. Luke Perry protected his family with estate planning. We're going to get into this, and I want to touch on this since we're discussing the mind state of a trustee for this episode. So here we go. We get into the meat and potatoes of this. There was a decision to allow Luke Perry to die. The fact that the hospital, this is what the article says, the fact that the hospital allowed Perry's family to end life support means that Luke Perry likely had executed the proper legal documents so that his family could make the decision. Specifically in California, those wishes generally are made in writing through an advance directive or a power of attorney. Without a proper legal document, the family may have needed an order from a probate court to terminate life support. At least if family members disagreed, that would have been a public and emotional process that would have prolonged his suffering and made it even harder for his family. As far as having a directive, a health directive, to be taken off life support and allow your family to take you off life support, I don't know how you feel about that, but I mean, if you're listening to any type of show with a high frequency radio network, you should definitely have some sort of directive, advanced health directive or something like that to allow and help determine what's going to happen. And so your wishes are honored if you ever become incapacitated. And this is obviously what this actor did. Most actors who are in the business long enough, they get this information. They get this private information or some version of it. In 2015, Perry reportedly created a will leaving everything to his children. Starting that year, he became an outspoken advocate for screening for colorectal cancer. He discovered he had precancerous growths following a colonoscopy and began urging others to do the same. Given that he had a reported net worth of around $10 million, it is likely that he created a revocable living trust in addition to a simple will. So this is all speculation by the writer. If he had only a will, then his estate would have to pass through probate court. Instead, Perry had a trust, which is far more likely, and if the trust was properly funded, his assets can pass on to his children without court intervention. Hopefully, Perry had the same foresight for his assets as he apparently did with his end-of-life documentation. The one potential unresolved question is whether Luke Perry would have wanted something to go to his fiancée. Because Perry died before marriage, his fiancée is not entitled to inherit anything through his will or trust. This is assuming the report that his children are his only beneficiaries is accurate, and no later will, trust, or amendment is found that includes his fiancée. It's also still possible that Perry left money for his fiancée in other ways, such as through a joint bank account or life insurance. Let me see. Do I want to say anything else? As Luke Perry's situation demonstrates, it's not just cancer that people need to be worried about. With the sudden shocking nature of Perry's death, awareness is being raised about the dangers of strokes in everyone, including those who are middle-aged instead of elderly. Hopefully, the death can raise awareness, and this tragedy reminds us that tragedy can strike at any time. Perry certainly did not expect to die at age 52, but at least legally, he was prepared for it. That's very interesting. Very interesting to me. Should be very interesting to you. This man, had the proper structures. Bottom line, he had the mindset of a trustee. And getting into the mindset of a trustee, I want to talk real quick on acquiring precious metals. We understand, the mindset of a trustee. We understand the difference between real money and paper money. That's number one. And we understand through, the proper administration of our trust estate that we do not save in a currency that is steady losing value. The Internal Revenue Service will tell you publicly that they're looking for 2% inflation on the currency. 2% inflation means exactly 2% depreciation. So every year it loses 2% of its value. You don't believe me, you can go check it out. You do what you need to do to verify that information. But if you're looking to save wealth to pass it on to the next generation, we understand with our mind state of being a trustee that we don't save in paper dollars. We don't save in a depreciating currency because we're going to save ourselves into poverty. We understand specific information that isn't necessarily accessible to the public. We understand that using and utilizing this information is important, not only in the first generation of the trust, but in all subsequent generations of that trust or that estate. I want to be specific. So when we save in precious metals, gold, silver, tangible assets, diamonds, emeralds, pearls, collector cars, collectible art, tangible form, real estate. And if we're acquiring money, we're acquiring, gold and silver. So in that vein, I want to touch on Carrot Bars. I've been a member of Carrot Bars, actually an affiliate. I signed up. I don't really get into multi-level marketing. To me, people will say, and even people with Carrot Bars will say it's not a multi-level marketing company. I don't necessarily agree with that. It definitely has aspects of a multi-level marketing company. I'm not going to sit here and debate anybody. What I will say is, the actual product of this company, whether it's a multi-level marketing company or not, the product itself is gold. It's not Tupperware. It's not like some potential tickets to, the Bahamas or something like that are only valid during a certain time of year or something like that. It's not all these other things that are offered by what we would consider multi-level marketing companies. But I've been with that company multiple years, for over 2 years now. And I don't really talk about it. I don't really discuss it. I'm going to be honest. Why? Because a gram of gold, they sell gold in small amounts. So, tenths of a gram and grams, 2.5 grams, 5 grams, and so on and so forth. They sell, different amounts of gold. I never got into it beyond personally because, honestly, the gold was just too expensive. I'm going to be real. It just wasn't of value, and I didn't feel comfortable talking about or pushing or promoting Carrot Bars because I didn't see a value in it. But now, they have a new contract with a new gold refinery versus the primary one they had. So this new gold that they have, it's still gold. It's pure gold, 4.9 gold. Still pure gold, but it's coming from a different place, so they have a better contract. Now, this gold is affordable and it makes sense. Call it cash gold. So now Carrot Bars, you can sign up to spend $20 a month, $40 a month, $60 a month, $100 a month, and just put it on auto pay. And just every month you know that you're acquiring $100 worth of gold. And at any point in time, you can sign up for a delivery for them to send you your gold. They send it through FedEx. And, whenever you're comfortable, if it's 5 grams, 20 grams, 100 grams, whenever you're comfortable, have it shipped to you. It's definitely affordable now. This new contract that they have, it's affordable. It makes sense. It's even a little bit cheaper than gold that I'm seeing online, like AppMex and stuff like that. So if you're interested, you can be a customer. You can be an affiliate. I've been making money off Carrot Bars for over 2 years. and I don't really even do anything with it. And I just made some money off of it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna turn around and just buy as much gold as I can with this money that I made off of, this side business. And that goes to show, there's a lot of different ways to increase your wealth, and a main one is to create side businesses. And one of my side businesses, honestly, is Carrot Bars. Straight up, it is. I signed up as an affiliate. I paid for a package, and moved forward. I started off with a silver package, and I moved forward. If you're interested in signing up as a customer or an affiliate, just email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. It is affordable now. It makes sense now. It has a value now. So they have different gold-backed crypto coins. They're doing a lot of things, and I've been taking the last few days to get up to speed with what this company is doing nowadays, because I kind of haven't been messing with it. So one of the main things as far as the mind state of a trustee is acquiring real money, real assets, real gold, real silver. So, it's an affordable way to acquire gold. It doesn't matter how much. It could be, you can put $15. You'll be able to go buy a certain amount of gold, and they'll hold it for you until you want it shipped. So, like I said, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. I'm not trying to sell anything to you. I'm just, offering acceptance. Be private. But in that same vein, we do not save in currency, in paper currency. We save in tangible assets. And that's why, a lot of us, we don't have, savings accounts, so on and so forth. Maybe if we're dealing with a business, you might have a savings account, a health savings account, an IRA, something like that. But, in the private, we don't really do that. We do mostly life insurance policies, endowments, and private placement accounts and stuff like that. So, that's important. I want to start off by, understanding that, stating that the main objective, or one of the main objectives of a trust contract, is to obtain most of the advantages of a corporation, but with the freedoms from the burdens and restrictions and regulations generally imposed upon corporations. We understand that a business trust may be organized to engage in any business in which individuals and corporations may lawfully engage. Our mind state, we understand that statutes may authorize limited liabilities of partnerships and corporations, but those statutes do not, by implication, prohibit the creation of contract trusts to enjoy similar immunity by virtue of common law. We understand the Supreme Court holds that a trust relationship comes under the realm of equity, justice, based upon common law. There's a venue. What's the venue? Equitable jurisdiction. Is it a commercial jurisdiction? No. Is it a legislative jurisdiction? No. A statutory jurisdiction? No. It is equity jurisdiction, based upon the common law, and is not subject to legislative restrictions, as are corporations or other organizations created by legislative authority. Only decisions by the United States Supreme Court are binding authority on the Internal Revenue Service. A case decided by the United States Supreme Court becomes the law of the land and takes precedence over decisions of lower courts. The Internal Revenue Service must follow Supreme Court decisions. For the examiners, the Internal Revenue examiners. The Supreme Court decisions have the same weight as the Internal Revenue Code. Private law is what we're dealing with in our mind as a trustee. Private law. We understand what private law is. Not public law. Generally refers to terms of an agreement between the parties. And the parties have the freedom to override many state law requirements regarding formations of contracts. A business trust is a common law entity formed by contract and thus is not subject to the same type of state regulation as are corporations. Proper mind state of a trustee. Mind state of a trustee. We understand we are under contract in a fiduciary capacity. Going to the Hague Convention on Trusts. Article 1 of this Hague Convention concluded 1st of July 1985. This convention specifies the law applicable to trusts and governs their recognition. Article 2, 4. The purpose of this convention, the term trust, refers to the legal relationships created by a person, the settlor, when assets have been placed under the control of a trustee for the benefit of a beneficiary or for a specified purpose. A trust has the following characteristics. The assets constitute a separate fund and are not a part of the trustee's own estate. Title to the trust asset stands in the name of the trustee or in the name of another person on behalf of the trustee or trust. The trustee has the power and the duty in respect of which he is accountable to manage, employ, or dispose of the assets in accordance with the terms of the trust and the special duties imposed upon him by law. Terms of the trust and special duties imposed. Article 3. The convention applies only to trusts created voluntarily and evidence in writing. Does it apply to your sesque trust? Was that a voluntary? How about a resulting trust? A trust that is created by the result of a certain action or inaction. The convention, therefore, does not cover oral trusts, resulting trusts, constructive trusts, statutory trusts, or trusts created by this judicial order. Article 6, a trust shall be governed by the law chosen by the settlor or the grantor. Article 6, the trust shall be governed by the law chosen by the grantor or settlor. The choice must be express or implied in the terms of the instrument creating or the writing evidencing the trust, interpreted if necessary in light of the circumstances of the case. Let's say maybe the trustees went and opened up a trust bank account. Maybe they utilized a short form trust indenture because they did not want to disclose the long form private trust indenture. Maybe on that short form trust indenture it said that the trust is executed and delivered under the laws of a specific state. So it looks like a statutory trust or some type of contract trust that is coming under the laws of the state. Any trustee worth their salt would go back to the original trust indenture, create a certified notarial copy of the jurisdictional venue invoked in the contract, and very simply and professionally, very, very professionally, correct either that mistake or unrealistic presumption that this trust comes under some sort of statutory authority. I'm sorry if this becomes that is the understanding of the nature of this trust, but if you look at the original trust indenture, which I have a certified notarial copy, it states specifically that the jurisdiction of this entity is, you can read it right here, and that any document that emanates or is created due to this original document is subject to the original document. So I know that language does appear to show that, but according to the original trust indenture, that is incorrect, and the original indenture governs. The original indenture is the law. If you have not stated the claim, no remedy will be granted. If you have a short form trust indenture and it is alleged that it is under statutory jurisdiction due to the wording in terms of the short form trust indenture, you simply want to produce the long form trust indenture, the actual governing instrument, to rebut that presumption, to rebut or to correct that misunderstanding. I'm staying on. I say stuff for a reason, y'all. Please understand what I'm saying, because I'm speaking straight from the mind state of a trustee. Article 6, the Hague Convention of Trust shall be governed by the law chosen by the settlor. The choice must be expressed or be implied in the terms of the instrument creating or the writing evidencing the trust. Interpreted, if necessary, in the light of the circumstances of the case. So you might have certain circumstances. You might have circumstances where exists specific jurisdiction invoked for the trust that contradicts what is available evidence in the trust in the public. If ever that is to come up, you would evidence that distinction and correct any misunderstood or misappropriated presumption. Where the law chosen under the previous paragraph does not provide for trust or the category of trust involved, the choice shall not be effective, and the law specified in Article 7 applies. There's jurisdictions where these entities are recognized to do business, where those jurisdictions, they don't even have trusts. You can't even create trust in that jurisdiction. But trust coming outside from without that jurisdiction is still recognized. Let me get going. I ain't trying to stay on this stuff too long because I got a lot of stuff I want to say as far as the mind state goes. Article 11, Hague Convention on Trust. A trust created in accordance with the law specified by the preceding chapter shall be recognized as a trust. Such recognition shall imply as a minimum that the trust property constitutes a separate fund that the trustee may sue and be sued in his capacity as trustee, and that he may appear or act in this capacity before a notary or any person acting in an official capacity. I'm going to read that again. He may appear or act in this capacity before a notary or any person acting in an official capacity. You may appear in the capacity of a trustee in front of an Internal Revenue Service agent, in front of a judge, in front of a lawyer, in front of anyone or any person acting in an official capacity. I'm officially here on behalf of the Internal Revenue Service, the United States government. Well, I'm officially in the capacity of a trustee for Foundation Trust. That's my mindset of the trust as a trustee. I understand what this is. I understand completely what this is. These are constitutional protections. Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution states in part, no state shall pass any law impairing the obligation of a contract. Personal creditors of the trustee shall have no recourse against the trust assets. The trust assets shall not form part of the trustee's estate. The trust assets shall not form part of the matrimonial property of the trustee or his spouse, nor part of the trustee's estate upon his death. When the trustee in breach of trust has mingled trust assets with his own property or has alienated trust assets. Article 12, where the trustee desires to register assets, movable or immovable, cars, real estate, or documents of title to them, he shall be entitled in so far as this is not prohibited by or inconsistent with the law of the state where registration is sought, to do so in the capacity as trustee or in such other way that the existence of the trust is disclosed. All of us should really, really check this out. The Hague Convention on Trust, Hague Conference on Private International Law, Convention on the Law Applicable to Trusts and Their Recognition. Email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. If you can't find it, I'll send it to you. I'll email it to you. Mindset of a trustee, understanding that the trust avoids death tax, inheritance tax, estate tax, gift tax. A business trust, a trust that's executed under the right to contract. Upon its execution, becomes a federal entity and does not come under the legislative authority of any state. The trustees of a trust have all the power necessary to carry out their obligations, which they assume, and their books and records. This is Boyd, B-O-Y-D versus U.S. 116 U.S. 618. A trust organization consisting of a U.S. constitutional right of contract cannot be abridged. The agreement, when executed, becomes a constitutionally protected organization and not under the laws passed by any of the several legislatures. A peer trust is not subject to legislative control. The United States Supreme Court holds that trust relationship comes under the realm of equity based upon the common law and is not subject to legislative restrictions, as are corporations and other organizations by legislative authority. The creator of a trust may mold and give it any shape he chooses, and he or the trustees, upon such terms as they may choose to impose. The court will support the trustees in carrying out the terms of the trust contract and agreement. Did you know that? Did you know that the proper court, you get in front of the proper court as a trustee, the court will support you in carrying out the terms of the trust contract? That is in Clues versus Jameson. Clues is C-L-E-W-S v. Jameson. You find that at 182 U.S. 461. 182 U.S. 461, period, 21, space S, space CT 845. Check this out. In the case of the United States National Bank of Omaha versus Kaminsky, civil action number 77, CV 81830, District Court of Jefferson County, Colorado, June 16, 1980, the bank alleged that Kaminsky owed them $20,000. when he had no personal assets to seize after they obtained judgment, they tried to seize the assets of a trust that Mr. And they were unable to penetrate the trust. USA versus Jack E. Sisner, Cissner, et al. Civil Court, Washington, CIV number C82-436T as in Tom, a trust established in good faith by the grantor for the benefit of his children cannot be penetrated and assets seized to pay the alleged tax debts of the grantor on the grounds that the trust was established to defraud the grantor's creditors, where this conveyance of the assets of the grantor did not leave him insolvent, and where it was done prior to him having knowledge that at some future date he may allegedly owe taxes or other debts. When we're dealing with the proper mind state, we understand the trust is a separate and distinct entity from its beneficiaries for income tax purposes. Brigham versus U.S. We understand that a trust a governing instrument, that governing instrument being the trust indenture. Depending on the trust indenture and specific amendments, that trust indenture or that trust will have obligations due to the nature of the indenture itself or to the minutes of the trust. And those obligations may require expenditures. Obligations within the contract indenture are normal trust expenses, which is a deduction when it comes to trust income. So for allowable governing instrument expenses reduces what we know as taxable income. From that reduction, a further reduction is any type of distribution. From a business trust, a distribution would be from the business trust to a family trust. There could be a charitable distribution to a private family foundation. Even you could do a charitable distribution or a distribution to a public charity if you so choose. And in this way, those of us who know this system that interrelates, legally and lawfully reducing taxable income through contractually obligated expenses and allowable distributions. After expenses and the distributions, if there's no income left to tax, then there is no thing to tax. So we understand proper administration in our mind state is proper expenses and proper distributions. A properly executed trust and our proper mind state can operate in any state without having been registered with that state. With my business trust, I can go into any state. I can go into your state, come into your state with my business trust indenture. Because it's a federal entity once it's properly executed. A federal organization can walk into your state, New Hampshire, New York, Georgia, California, Michigan, it doesn't matter. Walk in with this contract, and it will be recognized in that state. This is significant. A lot of people shy away from trust administration. A lot of people hoard information and aren't really willing to do anything with the information. A lot of people, you'd be surprised how many people have exactly what they need to go private and execute it properly, but just won't do it because they haven't done the requisite study. They're not sitting on the required or essential knowledge that takes fear away from your movements and your actions as a trustee. That's why my State of a Trustee series is necessary. I can give you all the information in the world, all these manuals, all these books, citations of authority, different Supreme Court cases, all this stuff. If you're not incorporating it into your mind state, into your lifestyle, it means nothing. It means zero. It is entertainment, and that is all it is. So in part one, bottom line understandings of what the validity of the trust entity is not to be questioned. That the trust is a legal person. That a proper trust comes under the realm of equity. You understand how to invoke that jurisdiction. If you do not, you will get into trouble. A lot of the trouble is going to happen after you pass. It's going to be your heirs and your family members that are coming to find out that the trust was improperly executed or administered, and they're going to find out the hard way. You want to have the proper trust indenture, proper understanding, and a proper mind state. Because incorrect information, correctly applied, can get you hurt. And, every trust has a purpose. And any expense incurred due to the execution of that purpose is an ordinary expense. Where do you put that on 1041? Because we look at the 1041, we're like, where does it go? I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not a lawyer, any type of attorney. I can't get legal advice. So where does it go on the 1041? I don't know. You might want trustee training. I suggest you get into trustee training. This is called information that isn't disseminated amongst the public. This is private information. You need to find some sort of private mentor, some sort of private educational training or some sort of something. All the information that you're going to get in the public is going to be for public legislative trust. You go to an attorney, they have a bar card, a state bar card. They take an oath. Their first duty is to the public. The public is the state. They're giving you legislative statutory trusts. They can't give you a contract trust. If the bar found out they would be disbarred, they get in trouble. They'd be sanctioned. Because their first duty is to the public, not to a private individual. When we understand that, we have a mindset of the trustee. Now, when the trust is already executed and the jurisdiction is invoked properly, you may be able to hire an attorney who knows their stuff to help execute the properly established federal trust, constitutionally protected trust. But as far as creating a trust, don't do it. Don't do it. I wouldn't do it. You're not ready. Attorneys can't help you. This is private. I understand that. Mindset of a trustee, I understand. I'm not going to a tax preparer and expecting them to do the returns for every single entity. Mindset of a trustee, I'm going to go, hey, you do this return for the business trust. How about you do this return for the family trust? And you do the return for the LLC, or you do the return for the private family foundation. We got about a minute left in the broadcast. If you're listening online, you want to call in 424-222-5250. Otherwise, you will be disconnected. I am going to go a little over. We'll stream a little bit. I might take a call or two. We're moving away from taking calls, though, kind of. At least I feel like I am. But yeah, if you're listening online, you want to call in 424-222-5250. Continue with this discussion of the mind state of a trustee. You're going to understand expenses. You're going to understand distributions. And those are going to be the main things you're working with. You can't go to an accountant, a public accountant who got a public education, and expect them to know what to do with your private trust. That's not the proper mind state. You either got to know what to be done, understand the lies, so you can show them, or you got to do it yourself. Hands down. People don't want to read. People don't want to read. People don't want to learn. People don't want to be accountable for themselves. How can you be a trustee if you're not willing to be accountable? How? How does that work? If you're not willing to be accountable, how can you be a trustee? How can you be a private trustee if you're not willing to be held accountable? You got to hold yourself accountable for the learning. You got to continue your education ongoing. It never stops. That's the mindset of a trustee. You got to understand distributions and expenses, man. I'm going to go to the phone lines, man. We're going to get up out of here. Look, check this out. There's a lot of stuff that I know, all right? It's a lot of people, it's to the point where, I can sit here and ramble for hours and talk about stuff. Am I making a difference? And are you picking up what I'm putting down? That's really what's important to me. I don't like to waste my time or feel as though I'm wasting my time. I know I'm not wasting my time here on the foundation of high frequency. But hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. But there's things that I say for a reason. I say the things that I say for a reason, but at the same time, there's stuff that I know that I don't even know. You never know. And every estate is different. Every private estate is different. So no matter what stage you're at, of being private or, setting up your private estate or getting your affairs in order or, restructuring or whatever, you can always reach out to me and email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. Set up a consultation. It's only $55 donation per hour. A lot of times we go over the hour. I don't really be tripping on the time. Arrange, get all your questions together, write them all down, and, let's get on the line. Let's get this consultation. Let's get you started. Let's get you ready. I do a corporate structure, and I'm having to go back and do some more education, some continuing education because of these new tax laws and how they affect corporations, LLCs, partnerships, and stuff like that. So I'm still working on that, but it's still a part of what I do. But the biggest thing that I do, the foundation, is your private estate. That's the foundation. If you haven't figured it out already, it's the foundation. Your private estate is contractual entities that are recognized and protected by the Constitution, but recognized in the public. Period. And the understanding of how to administer those. And if anything happens to me, my daughter walks in the bank, show her ID and my death certificate, and she takes over the trust account. They don't have to close it and open it in her name. No, they just put her name on it. There's nothing changes. The account number, it's not a big deal. It's very easy. It's very simple. Real quick, real simple. This stuff will change your life, hands down. You got $50,000 in a checking account, in the name of a trust. And I got this land. It's got a house on it, but the house ain't doing too well. But I got this land I'm trying to get rid of. To avoid a taxable event, what are you going to do? What are your options? Let me tell you something. If you got a trust with $50,000 in it, in the checking account, in the name of the trust, and I got a property in the name of a trust, wouldn't we just sit down and come up with a contract, sign a contract that says, I'm going to name you the successor of the trust with the property, and you name me the successor of the trust with the cash, bank account, and I'm going to resign, and then you're going to resign. And since you're the successor, you're going to come on as the trustee, and then, since I'm the successor, I'm going to come on as there's no taxable event. We didn't sell anything. Now I control this bank account through the trust, and you control the property through the trust. There's no taxable event, no sale. Didn't have to go and retitle the property. Didn't have to close the bank account. I didn't have to write one check. That's a mindset of a trustee. That's how I would think. And that's a perfect example. As that happened in the private, I don't know, I'm under non-disclosure. Books and records are not open for public examination. Law talk of the public. I love you. I'm going to take one phone call. I'm going to take one phone call. One call. And I'm out of here. One call. 312-8336. Area code 312-8336. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, Soil. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? Peace.
I'm doing well. You know what? I didn't open up the phone line, but you know what? I always listen to your show, usually afterwards, because I have a family, so I don't usually get to listen to it live. But I just want to thank you because you throw down some of the realest stuff that I've heard, and I never really thank you or appreciate you online. I probably have sent you an email or two, but I just really appreciate what you're doing, and I really, really, really connect with what you're saying, and I just thank you for saying it in the way that you do, because a lot of people out here are talking about things, but they're not real about them, and they don't say them in a way that we can wrap our minds around them. A lot of people are new to this information, and it's kind of coded when you put it out there. I get that. You have to be. But I thank you for still leaving enough room for us to kind of, investigate for ourselves and figure out what's going on. So I didn't open up my line. It was just open, and I just want to, since it was, thank you, and just give you appreciation and much love. And I just hope you keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. It's not me. I'm just doing, it's the creators, the ancestors, but, all praises due to them. But definitely I appreciate it, and thank you very much, and thanks for checking out the show. And even though you didn't open your mic up, thanks for speaking up. I really appreciate it. And
you know what
pleasure.
I would like, since you opened up my mic, I have a question for you. We hear this word deficit a lot. And I just really think that it means something different than what most people come to think and know. If there's a deficit to somebody, it's an asset to somebody else. And I think we need to start kind of digging a little bit further into that. What do you think?
You raise a great point, but I think and let me touch on that, because it speaks to disclosure. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely.
Kind of get where I'm
or
coming from.
Non-disclosure.
They're over here saying, hey, we got a deficit, we got this deficit, we got that deficit, this deficit. So on this side, it's deficient. On the U.S. side, to me, that's disclosed. They disclosing it. They letting us know. We on the deficit side. be on the the debit side of the ledger versus the credit side. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a great point. Yes, absolutely correct.
Oh, we need to access the private to move it to the credit side?
I think the main thing is to become independent of the public, because the public in the United States is operating from so many deficits. So if you're dependent on this system with all these deficits, it could be detrimental. So whatever that means, whether that's private credits or discharge, offset, or a private business, a family business, any type of way to generate wealth that isn't directly dependent on the United States. That's what I think. I think they're kind of saying, hey, this is the U.S. We got this deficit, trade deficit, monetary deficit, debt clock, all this trillions in debt, all this other stuff. I just think, something. We need to do something. There's a lot of different options. My thing is, the foundation of what we're going to do is doing it from the proper structures and from the protected position. In my opinion, my highly studied opinion, that is in private structures, private trusts, so on and so forth. Because, look, if you can make all the money in the world, you can be a millionaire, 3 million, and then there's a recession or a depression, and you got 3 million, 2 million in your savings account and 1 million in the checking account, and there's a depression, and they do a bank holiday, and then they bail in all the funds, and then when you log into your account, you only have $750,000 spread between those two accounts, whereas that's the type of account that is created with an individual, maybe a corporation, some sort of legislative entity. So a bail-in does apply, whereas a private entity, the best they can do is freeze the assets due to a certain investigation. They're trying to investigate and see if it can be treated as some sort of grantor trust or disregarded entity, and to some sort of taxable taxpayer, some sort of individual. And if they can't, they got to unfreeze the assets and let it go. There's no bail-in, because it's not a U.S. person. It's not subject to these U.S. sanctions, we're going to say, from a bail-in. So, my opinion, no matter if we have any wealth, any assets, anything, if we're not holding it in the proper entity, we're going to lose it anyways. And we're going to be really upset. And we're going to be dealing with a situation that we weren't prepared for. We feel like we're prepared. Because I got some money, I got this, I got a checking account, but it's not in the proper structure. It could be taken like that. Inaccessible like that. So, yeah, I think, breaking or reducing as much as possible dependency on the United States or the public is number one, in my opinion. Number one. And that's, their dependency
and what's number two?
The public entities. You know what I mean? That's number one. Being dependent on public entities to own stuff, to make money, to generate income, to title stuff. To me, that's the number one dependency. We're dependent on they entities within their system.
So, are you saying that entity that's already existing in their system is not something that you should depend on? You should create a whole new entity that is similar to, but not that? Okay.
Just create a trust, because the individual, is represented by the birth certificate. We can get into a lot of different discussion on the birth certificate, but bottom line, the birth certificate has a state seal on it, not a family seal. This is a public document issued from the state of, state of California, state of Michigan, whatever. So this is to me, this is a public entity. It's an individual. They can change the laws of the individual. They did it with the tax reform. They did it with corporations, partnerships, individual. They didn't do nothing with trusts or contract trusts. The only thing they did, they added a 20% deduction to trusts. So if they can regulate the laws and the ways how these entities are taxed, these are public entities. So the individual, corporations, LLCs, were dependent on these public entities, which is, the entity that derives from the birth certificate I include in public. Those can be legislated. They have control over these entities and all of the property of these entities. So if you have a private entity, a private trust, it doesn't fall under legislative control. So the assets, the income, property is outside of the legislative arm. So, the so-called long arm of law.
Okay, since you said that, can we talk about how to title things properly?
Yep. Title them in a private trust.
That's similar to but not the same. Or just totally different.
Similar to or not the same with what? What do you mean?
As something maybe that's already easily recognized.
Oh, yeah. Contract trust is recognized to do business in over 120 countries. That's why I was reading from the Hague Convention earlier. A contract trust is recognized to do business in countries where they don't even have their own trust. But they'll recognize, certain types of trusts. These are express trusts that are evidenced through, the expression of, a contract indenture with a certain jurisdiction invoked in the contract. So titling
which it doesn't have to be public?
Nah, it's not public. Nope. Private contract. Yeah, the right to privacy. That's why I teach in trustee training. You can title anything in a trust. And then even trusts you don't have to have an EIN to title real estate or a vehicle in a trust. Well, a lot of people have an asset protection trust, and they'll title the vehicle or the property in the asset protection trust, but it doesn't have a bank account. That trust, those types of trusts, they usually don't have bank accounts, and they only have contracts between other trusts. So, like for instance, let's say what's a good example for a business? I run a business call center. I employ people who be calling people on the phone and stuff. So, you have computers, robo-dialers, phones, and all this other stuff. Well, all of the computers, the phones, all that stuff is going to be titled in the asset trust. And the business, whether it's an LLC or a business trust, is going to lease the equipment from the asset trust. Going to pay the lease for it. So if anything happens with the business and someone sues the business doesn't own the equipment, the business doesn't own the vehicles, the business doesn't own any. It just has a liability insurance policy in its name. And if it's a proper contract trust, then the state can't come in and say anything because the state didn't create it, so therefore it can't govern it. The contract itself is the law. The most powerful entity on the planet. Most powerful entity on the planet. So properly titling assets, in my opinion, that's a private contract trust. You put it in the name of a trust. Not a living trust, not a grantor trust, not a statutory trust, a contract trust, a private contractual trust. If you don't have a trust, you email me, we can get up in the trustee training. If you do have a trust, you can go to the DMV, title the vehicle in the name of the trust. Go down to the county recorder, pay the recording fee, and record the deed in the name of the trust. It's real simple.
So then that'll be like a public acknowledgement.
Not public acknowledgement of the title held.
Or
in
just
the trust.
public notice? Okay.
Yeah, the public filing, like you're evidencing the ownership of this thing to this name. And they're like, well, who's this name? And you pull it out. Well, it's actually a private contract, trust. And they're like, oh, you know, because it changes everything.
Okay.
Changes everything.
Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. You always share a lot, though. I don't think your audience appreciates how much you really do share, but I definitely do. And I thank you for it. Gratitude.
Absolutely my pleasure. Anytime. And thank you for calling in.
Myself out now. You too.
There's certain there's laws and rules with regards to this information. You're supposed to make a certain amount of money before you get this information. I would like to consider myself, I don't like to see my people in the lowest economic position. I've been all over the world and I didn't like seeing that, and I don't like seeing that. I do as much as I can to put this information out to y'all. I try to be as in your face as possible without just, putting myself at super duper risk. Because for everyone that I actually get, it's a loss on the public ledger. The big L. My guy, Mello Bay. I'm gonna bring Mello in and I'm out of here. Peace, Mello. What's going on?
Man, peace to the guys. Everything under the sun going on. So, man, you name it. We just about experiencing going through it. But, I'm so glad. I'm just thankful to be able to share this time and space and, recognize, be able to be thankful to recognize how valuable, others share their time and space as well, so we can know the true value of things, man. That's where the level of interest really starts at, bro. Just knowing your own valuable time and space. Know the value of your own time and space. Just like you said, bro, if you're going out here working daily, you purchasing assets, you buying them, you ain't know where to protect them and how to pass them on or how to make sure that they're actually secured, then you're really not acknowledging or noticing your own value of your time and space, because if you don't, others will, and corporations will keep you on the clock, for as long as you're good to be used. Just prime example, bro. I was just doubling up. I had to let one go because I was like, man, I was experiencing some slight little technical issues, It wasn't that major really too much because I'm still pushing, but she just let me know. They just let me know, hey, we can definitely let you go at any point. So I'm just like, well, it's time for me to start wising up now. Get on these people's clock, get off these people's clock, go get on your own clock and do what you got to do. Know your own value, your own time and space. So I'm just thankful though, bro, and definitely, I've been kind of just really on the low now, just doing what I got to do, take this move here and there, not spending if I don't have to spend, eat when I have to eat, and just definitely still managing my time and space while I'm out here in the field. That's part of what a trustee do. That's part of a mindset, too, of a trustee. To know your own value, your time and space, So, just thankful, though, bro. I'm out here finna get ready to punch out. I got to go back into the archives. And I tell everybody else, too, man, go back into the archives, man. Get your pen and pad. Go back into the archives. You got to do it. Don't be scared to read. Look up, look up what you got to look up, man, and get routine with it. Get familiar with it. This is supposed to be a way of life. So it shouldn't be no foreign, talk or unfamiliar talk that we dealing with unless you just coming into this thing. I get that. But other than that, by now, months upon months and time upon time, you're supposed to be familiar. You're supposed to be living this life, a way of moving with it. So that's really what it is. So despite whatever I go through still, I do recognize that the things that I'm acquiring, I got to protect them. I got to be able to have asset protection. I got to be able to have a family trust. I got to be able to carry the family name forward so some of the military can do it as well coming up behind me. So it is real still what it is. And it's always, like they say, nothing up on the sun, bro. It's been going on. You know what I'm saying? Where we been. This information just been held back. You know what I'm saying? For someone. So that's what it is, though, bro. But I'm thankful. I'm definitely thankful, you know. Finna hit the freeway, hit the slab, as they say. You know what I'm saying? Ride out, jot down my notes. Going back into the archives, you know what I'm saying, download some talk shows, and then just go to digging, man. Get back to digging and staying on it. Staying definitely on it, you know what I'm saying, managing his money for real. So that's definitely what it is, though. But, yeah, it's interesting, though, man. 120 countries recognize trust. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So, you know, man, I'm definitely like, you know, I'm like, man, it's like you said, man, some of us got the information. Some of us got what it takes to set up a private estate, you know what I'm saying, and maneuver with it. But, you know, procrastination is the worst killer of all, you know what I'm saying. We learned that too. So, you know, it is what it is, though, brother. You know, I'm glad to hear from you, family. You know, I know you strong, you still doing what you're doing. And I know definitely well you got others and you helping changing their condition as well for the better. So, you know, definitely salute, man. This is priceless. This is valuable. You know, knowing the time and space that we spend, you know, between creating, man, this is priceless, though. It really is, man. It's truly priceless. It's not a price that can be put upon it, actually. You know what I'm saying? Something you can carry throughout your whole, you know, life, and your family can carry it out through it. It's priceless, man. It really is. You know, so whoever's getting swarmed or getting hesitated by the price value or whatever it takes, man, just recognize that what you're doing, what you're developing is, man, is, you know, it's really no amount. It's really no amount that can actually compare. You know what I'm saying? So can't put a price on family. You know what I mean? So that's definitely what it is, man. And I'm just looking at it now. So we had somebody pass in the family. Auntie just passed the other night, and the things she got, man, the houses, the assets. Here we go again. Who's gonna get that? State probate gonna come in on it? Are some of my cousins and nephews and uncles gonna be able to manage that? You know, this is real. So now I'm witnessing something that I actually know that, you know, I got to get my own thing together, man, for real. You know, what if I was in pocket right now, with in place? I could have came to the family, you know what I'm saying, on some of them times on the reunions and whatnot. Like, hey, look, man, we buying things. How y'all protecting? How you passing them on? How you know, how we gonna create and keep creating, carry the family name on? You know, I could have been there in that pocket, but just go to show you though how valuable things is. They don't have that information. Now it's gonna be, you know, miscellaneous stuff taking place here and there. So it is what it is, man. We live in this thing, so it's true. I just thank God, thank the Creator, the ancestors, the forefathers, foremothers, the forerunners, and all these amongst us to this day. You know what I'm saying? For the energy still to be alive and well. That's definitely what it is, bro. You know, your words never fell on deaf ears, especially never here. So, you know, by our way of demonstration, how we do this thing. That's how we show appreciation, by our way of demonstration. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, though, bro. But once again, thank you, man. Salute. Thanks again. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody else, too, who's still been on board. You know what I'm saying? In it for the long haul. And that's what it is, though, family. So I'm here, man. You know, I ain't going to hold it. But I'm going to hit the slab, man. Got to get back in because mom and pops go to bed a little early, you know what I'm saying, than we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you calling in, man, and thanks for being down, man. You a regular, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Man, no doubt, man. Man, energy well reciprocated, the same likewise, man. I mean, for real, like, ain't no family too much rare out there like you, family. You know, you got some out there, but they bluffers, man. They'll blow smoke up your ass, gas you up, and then, you know, leave you hanging. I mean, it really is what it is. If the people who've been tuned in don't recognize right now, bro, like, you know, what it is and what's going on, then, you know, man, who's to say, well, you ever get it? But it is what it is, man. Shout out to big brother Yusuf L, you know. one of the creators of this thing too as well. We can keep, help make things possible. So shout out to the big bro, man. I call him my uncle, you know what I mean? Shout out to big uncle, man. You know what I'm saying, doing this thing. You know what I'm saying? And the other brother too. I haven't heard from brothers in a minute, but my man from the vault. But yeah, though, it's all good though, bro. Definitely all good. We in the works. It's still working. We here. It's another one, another brick in the foundation. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Peace to the God, bro.
Appreciate you, family. Peace to the guys, man. Have a great week.
Indeed, you too.
All right, y'all. Love y'all. Definitely love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. Carrot bars. Get a gold affordably, man. It was like €44, which is less than $50, which is less than what I was getting when I'm going to my guy locally and paying cash. So it makes sense now. I've been a part of it for years, but now it finally makes sense. Email me, admin@welcometothefoundation.com if you're interested. We can just acquire gold over time. It's affordable, and we don't even have to leave our home. There's really no excuses as far as diversifying our wealth and saving in real money. Just want to make it easy for the listeners to be able to save in real money, and I'm looking to help. You don't have to do it as a multi-level marketing, or you don't have to sell the service or whatever. You can just buy gold and leave it at that. So no pressure. No pressure at all. I definitely will look into that. Definitely hit me up. Passport No Social webinar should be available by the end of this week. It's the editing is being finished up. So if you're looking to get your hands on this webinar, you want to get a passport for No Social, American, non-citizen national passport. admin@welcometothefoundation.com, and we'll let you know what we're looking for a donation to receive that. We're going to send out DVDs in the mail. It's not going to be any type of digital thing. It's going to be a physical. I'm going to send it to you, and the DVD is going to come in the mail. So that's the way it is. So if you're interested, Passport No Social, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. If you're interested in signing up for Carrot Bars and starting to acquire real money, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. If you're interested in Trustee training, or any type of consultation, you want to, restructure your corporation, get your LLC set up right properly at the state, federal level. You want to start working on business credit. You want to establish more business credit. You want to expand your business credit. You want to start your business, your public business, so on and so forth, before you go private. admin@welcometothefoundation.com. I'm looking forward to, meeting you, helping you, serving you. With that being said, welcome to thefoundation.com. Invest in your private education in the PDF section. Might be changing up the website pretty soon. We're gonna lose some PDFs. So that's all I'm gonna say. There's gonna be some PDFs missing from welcometothefoundation.com. So do whatever you need to do. Understand? So welcome to thefoundation.com. As always, sign up for the email list. HighFrequencyRadioNetwork.com. It's the click. That's the label. That's the team. There's no I in team. Shout out to Yusuf L, my guy, big brother. And y'all get a hold of me. Get with me. I'm here to serve you. I do this for y'all. From current events to the topic. It's all for you. And it's all love. So y'all have a great week. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. 10 things that you're thankful for. Every time you think about it, they'll change your life. And, tune in next week for another episode of The Foundation. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great week. And peace to the guys.
Doing this thing all the way live. High Frequency Radio.